I finished talking about season 1 of the Muppets, and I finished reviewing the last few episodes. So now it's time for me to share my thoughts on the earlier episodes of the Muppets. And these are the episodes that I did not get a chance to review. So, oh yeah, and by the way, I'm kind of unprepared for this review, as you can tell. So, be right back. Alright, I'm ready now. I'm not gonna talk about my thoughts on the pilot episode, which is Pig Girls Don't Cry, but you can check out my review of that, and I'm just gonna be sharing my thoughts on the episodes that came on after the pilot episode. So let's get started, shall we? Hostile Makeover, the second episode of the series with guest star Josh Groban. Story: Miss Piggy is desperate for a date to the People's Choice Awards, so Kermit gets Josh Groban on the show, and mayhem just ensures. So my thoughts on the episode was, it was okay. It was better than the pilot episode, but it was just okay. I mean, it was funny, but it wasn't as, it's still not fresh. Better left than better right. Guest stars Nick Offerman, Christina Applegate, and Liam Hemsworth. Story: Fozzie feels like he's getting less attention, so Kermit persuades him into doing something else than being the co-host of the show, of Miss Piggy's show. So Fozzie decides to make a movie, and so he goes out into the wilderness to make a movie, and it's funny what happens. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's funny. And to be honest, I thought this episode was much better than the pilot episode and Hostile Makeover. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was good. It was a funny story, and the ending with Fozzie, it's funny. It is. And there's a second story going on in that episode too. Gonzo starts a dating profile, and Pepe and Rizzo help him out in order for Gonzo to hit up a girlfriend. And so he gets help from Liam Hemsworth, because Liam Hemsworth is Gonzo's profile picture. Pig Out. Guest star Ed Helms. Story: Miss Piggy invites the Muppet cast and crew to Ralph's Tavern for a night out, and Ed Helms joins. And I'm not gonna spoil it, because it was my favorite episode until I saw. You know what? I'm not gonna give away what my favorite episode of the series is yet. But okay, so the Muppets and Ed Helms sing karaoke together, and they get drunk, and the episode shows them the next day taking Advil, and to be honest, this was by far my favorite episode until I saw. You'll see. So if you guys haven't seen this episode, it's funny. Walk the Swine. Guest star Reese Witherspoon. Story: Miss Piggy gets in a fight with Reese Witherspoon because Reese Witherspoon won an Oscar for her role in Walk the Line, and Miss Piggy lost to her. And so, in order to get revenge on Witherspoon, Piggy decides to volunteer at Habitat for Humanity with Witherspoon. And let's just say, destruction ensures. Was this episode great? No. Good? Yes. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed that episode. The funniest moments were when Piggy and Witherspoon were kicking each other's butts, to be honest with you. Guest star Kristen Chenoweth. Story: Kermit is having trouble finding a birthday present for his girlfriend Denise. So Miss Piggy, she helps Kermit for advice, and well, the episode as a whole was good. Like, just like most of the episodes of the series, it's not great, but good. Like, I don't know, there are some parts that I don't remember, though. Is it one of the best episodes of the series? No. Pigs in a Blackout. Guest stars Jason Bateman, and Pentatonics. Story: Kermit is stressed out from his job at work, where he works for Miss Piggy's talk show. So he decides to go take yoga, and there he meets Jason Bateman. And to be honest, this was probably my favorite episode until I saw the episode that I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. Kermit decides to leave Scooter in charge while he's away at the yoga place, and mayhem just ensures. It's crazy, but it's hilarious. And the best part in this episode, by far, is the ending. I'm not going to give away anything, but every time I watch that ending, it makes me tear up. And you know the meter that was in the Grinch, the little Grinch heart meter. Well, every time I watch that, the ending of this episode, it always, my heart always grows 3 sizes. Yeah, Pigs in a Blackout, great episode, awesome ending. Too Hot to Handler, guest star Chelsea Handler. Can't say her name right, sorry. Story. Okay, so Chelsea Handler, she guest stars on Miss Piggy's talk show, and Scooter develops a crush on Chelsea Handler, and it's hilarious what happens. Did I enjoy this episode? Yeah, I enjoyed it. However, I didn't enjoy this episode as much as the one episode that came before it, which is Pigs in a Blackout. But overall, Too Hot to Handler, good. It's a good episode. Going Gonzo, guest star Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Story: Gonzo. At the beginning of the episode, Gonzo almost kills himself by swinging on a rope and crashing into a table full of food, and that brings him back to the Daredevil days. And Gonzo decides to make another Daredevil attempt on Miss Piggy's talk show, and I'm not going to spoil it. I picked this episode as my favorite episode because not only is it because of the Dave Grohl and Animal fight at the end, but because this episode dug up the original spirit of the Muppets, and it knows that Gonzo was a Daredevil, because we haven't seen Gonzo as a Daredevil in a long time. And I'm really glad this episode recaptured that spirit. If anyone asks me what my favorite episode of The Muppets has been, I'm going to say Going Gonzo. Last episode, Single All the Way. Guest stars Mindy Kaling and Echo Smith. Story: this is the Christmas episode of The Muppets. The Muppets are getting prepared for the Christmas special of Miss Piggy's talk show. And while doing that, mayhem ensures when it realizes Mindy Kaling is awful at singing, and Fozzie broke up with his girlfriend, and all sorts of crazy shenanigans happened. This is one of my favorite episodes by far, because not only is it a happy episode because it's Christmas, because Kermit and Miss Piggy have this heartwarming conversation near the end, and even though they broke up over the summer, they still knock it out of the park with sweet conversations. Like, I'm not going to spoil what the conversation is about, but it's heartwarming. So that's going to be all for this video, and there will be another review uploaded later today. It will be my review of the first trailer to Ghostbusters. And by the way, I have a question for you. If you have seen The Muppets, what has been your favorite episode? Comment below and let me know. And if you want to see more of my videos, just be sure to subscribe.